Hello and welcome to another replay analysis 7.27a. We saw a little bit of a minor tweak in terms of the itemization of the helmet of the Dominator, some tweaks with that, a little bit of a nerfing, and also as well as the BKB, or sorry, the MKB. The reason being both of those items are very, very strong, especially this day and age. Obviously the whole attack speed is just like pretty massive of what's going on. But okay, one of my friends here, Elwin, was the Storm here. So we're just going to look at the player perspective. They are going to be Storm, and they said that this was a bit of a rough game. So spoiler alert. It's not like my friends can't win. It's more of the fact of what they're looking for in terms of how they can improve. Right, so we're just trying to find things, and then obviously if we're talking about winning games, it's really easy to see what they did well, right? And we're not here to just toot everyone's horn. It's basically to kind of find out what the deficiencies they might have, like how can they improve, what can they do better, and all of these analysis are trying to get that in. So let's see exactly what went right and what went wrong. I think that there probably will be some more things that went wrong, which is a bit of an issue. I think in terms of level, this is definitely, I think it's low divine, high ancient, like that's I believe that's around that tier. But Storm here just kind of backing up, making sure that Storm can get the right block in. Obviously runes are kind of important, so Elwin is kind of scouting around. So one to Bristle, one with Slaughter, and Sand King. So it looks to be so far just one on the side of Dire. Real quick, let me just turn off my fan. Okay, so a little bit of a missed block there. The range creep coming up a little bit forward here for COVID-19. Awesome. Starting with great names. The Remnant here is level 1 just to kind of help with that. And when taking a little bit of damage, the creeps are a little bit further away so that the positioning is actually a little bit better for COVID-19. Let's just say Wind Ranger, because I think that's a little inappropriate at this moment, especially with what's going on in the rest of the world. Another Remnant there, and a little bit of a deny. So 2-1, 2-0, still all right. Storm's got to kind of just shuffle out some of the items in terms of the backpack into the actual inventory. There's a sentry being placed already. And Wind Ranger, okay, he's going to Wind Run here, and this is the power of it, the power shot. Ooh, taking a little bit of damage there. And Storm, this is a bit of an issue, because you definitely don't want to be behind it. You don't want to get bullied out. You don't want to get zoned out. Mistiming the last hit there. And this Wind Ranger is actually doing a pretty good job of zoning. So already we can just see kind of the small things, right? This has been less than 90 seconds in game, but Wind Ranger being up 7-2 versus the 3-0, it is a little bit of a power spike, especially if you can get that early item. But let me just see what Wind Ranger has queued up. Does have a salve already, and it looks to be, wow, what is this? Okay, so straight up starter items, be damned, because Storm, Wind Ranger is going elsewhere. But okay, the lanes are now under tower. It's going to push a bit. Salve is being used by Wind Ranger there. And level 3, it's a 1-1-1 versus the Wind Ranger of a 0-2-1. Power shot is probably the way to go. Wind Run is always good against at least level 1, just because it's so much value. Remnant there, I think, was just to kind of make sure that the extra AoE damage, the extra damage from the Overload, kind of took into place. So securing that last hit, so to speak, under tower, not the easiest of things to do. So more items on the way. I think Storm, Elwin did get the bottle. Okay, great. Notice how Elwin didn't have to leave the lane, go back to Fountain or anything silly, especially at this rate, but Elwin super low, level 4, a little bit faster. Does have a Fairy Fire, but the creeps are here. So he realized that he could be a little bit more aggressive. And as we say that, 12-3 versus 14-3. So Elwin making his or her way back into the game very, very quickly. And a little bit of a stacking, self-stacking. So tremendous efficiency, right? Which is the name of the game. Okay, so power shot there. That'll probably push Wind Ranger. Probably not doing much, but wants a couple right clicks to go in. So COVID, actually, Wind Ranger is just kind of wasting time. Like, in that case, probably should have gone back, maybe look to do, to weaken some of the other jungle creeps or whatever, but First Blood is drawn elsewhere. That's in the top lane. Drow Ranger against Drow Ranger, that's a bit of an issue. Slaughter can do some damage. Look at how they're pump faking. A lot of right clicking. The pull on through under tower. The Windrunner is going to be used. But Elwin does get the last hit there. So not a bad play there. Oh, the nice arrow from the other side from downtown. That's going to just slow things down. The Remnant there has the Fairy Fire on up. Mirana? Okay. Mirana was kind of just so far away. I mean, it was a long arrow. Long stun duration arrow. But I think that's, we could see exactly what was going on. Like, Mirana probably should have been in a better position. And hi, Sherzinga. Good morning. It's actually good afternoon, but how are you doing? And all good, Sherzinga. Let me know when you have a replay that you like, and we can just kind of go through in as well. But the bottle here being used, saved by the Moranov. Good zoning there. Does continue to keep the salve up alive here, but Windranger is super low. Does need to be a little bit careful. And yeah, completely zoned up. But Mirana, I think, is catching on the back of this. I just want to see this. Tries to go for it, but the salve is there. And then with the Rin run. Oh, and now Mirana in a bad spot gets caught out. And this is turning bad. Like, that was what it's supposed to be an easy kill, but got completely baited out by the salve. But, oh, gets the pull in. And nice pull there. So good play by Elwin. Being level 6 first. Just a little low on mana. That's the only thing right now. But just continue to push, right? No Windrunner or Windranger. And so this could be a little bit damage in the middle. It's the 5-minute runes. Storm is probably going to look to get the bounty, the aggressive one. Especially with no Windranger, you do have a little bit of space. And I think you can see in the top lane that there was one Slardar. The Sand King was on the way. Not getting a stun, but he does have DD. But Sandstorm will there, and Storm will just kind of back off of that. The arrow misses. So, one thing I don't like is that Mirana is level 2 at 5 minutes. I think this is a huge amount of wasted time. As a roaming 4, you need to make sure that you get your levels, secure the lane, and then, pull in through. And he's going to look to just focus fire on through and has to completely back off. The focus fire is being used. And no, it's going to clown Dota. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, definitely. Sherzinga, please let me know. I definitely want to cast some of your games. Sorry, we're talking in Twitch chat. But basically, my alerts are not set up properly because I'm a terrible person, and I will do that after this. But in the meantime, Storm is continuing to push through. Does want the rune. Does not get the fortuitous one. Gets the pullback on the other end. It's going to have to Wind Run away to secure the other one in the top side. Elwin, that said, is completely out of the bottle. A little bit of tower damage with that catapult there. And with the Arcane Rune and Ember making his way mid. Now, actually, this is such a weird lineup. One thing we did not discuss was the fact that this is like an entire... I mean, I assumed that the Windranger would have been the support, but it looks like with the mid Windranger, literally everyone else is a core, right? So I think this is like a support Ember, considering I've been seeing them like kind of roaming around. But just an awkward lane. But this is a problem if they start snowballing, because obviously, 5 core versus, 3 cores or whatever you have in this lineup. Yeah, it's 3 cores. The more cores will win, right? That said, usually the supports will end up helping them so that the 3 cores that you have will ensure farm and they'll do very, very well. But in this case, we're kind of seeing that the snowball effect, so to speak. I mean, with 6 kills to their name and Ember, getting some good jungling and even getting that 1 kill on Mirana when she was rotating around, just the Radiant team has been doing very, very well. But last hit wise, Elwin just kind of like on pace at the top of the list, right? 40-5 equals, Windranger here. Trying to do what he can to secure, try to get yourself in this game, right? You're the mid, you need to start carrying, you need to create tempo. Which is very difficult when your Drow, your carry, is 30-7. It's kind of suffering. But the Bristle's doing okay on the bottom lane up against that PL. So things are kind of not as bad as they seem. The 6-1, it definitely doesn't look good, but it's only a 1k difference in terms of net worth. The Sand King is definitely suffering. I think that's your position for 0.5, I would say. So not ideal there. But okay, a fortuitous haste. Can any play kind of happen out of that? Not really sure. But Storm is going to take... you're double the Ember, right? So you got a nice pullback there. You can bully him around a little bit. Oh, with the nice arrow on the side. Does use the haste just in case and just to style on him. And that's going to secure that one. But Drow completely out of the top lane. Bane has gotten killed as well as as well as the Bristleback bottom. And they've kind of completely given up the top lane. Drow is just in the jungle, and as I say this, Ember is going to DC here. I don't want to waste time with this, so let's just kind of speed things up a little bit. Alright, Ember does come back. That's good. Let's pretend like we didn't see the actual end time of this, but... Yo, Morana, level 3. Come on, man, you're killing me. You're killing me. Bristle here just DCs. The aggressive, let's just skip this. Blah, blah, blah. But level 3 of 8 minutes and 50 seconds. Yee, never good. Okay, but more farming. That was a nice stack by Morana there. Morana staying nearby just because she does need some of the levels, right? Okay, so everybody's in the game again, and Drow completely getting bullied out, having a tough time. A nice arrow that splits the creeps, and the pull on through going to be saved until the very last second. Only level 5, so no remnants, no way to really get out. Even the Sleight of Fist isn't going to save him. But Wind Ranger's coming back in, realizing, all right, this Ember's died twice already. Now is time to just kind of exert my dominance, and I'll just kind of get in the middle. So, okay. So, Sherzinga, I will definitely get into that game next. I heard about this. I saw some of the highlights of it, and I'm looking forward to seeing that Axe game that you played. I'll do that one right after this one. But here, just kind of Storm getting another bounty rune there. It's 10 minutes, and Morana secures the next one. But Morana, level 4. Come on, man. Get your game. Get your head in the game. Edge, Bristleback has gone on. All of these little... Oof, a lot of illusions, a lot of damage. Bristle, yeah, you're strong, but the goo is here. The spin in, the doppelgang, and they're continuing to go on Bristle. The pull in, he finds the right one. Wow, Elwin. The only thing you didn't do is you didn't get that guy and then secure the courier kill, which you could have done. But, okay, I'm just kidding. Maybe not. I don't think you have the mana for it, to be honest. But bouncing things around, just taking things out as he continues to be max efficiency. I don't know if you saw that micro. But just taking them out lowers it as you get a percentage. And so your percentage goes down. So your mana, when you do gain mana from the bottle, you gain more mana back. I probably said that in the worst and most confusing way possible, but I hope you understood what I said. Okay, so Sand King is nearby, but Bristle's by himself. Nobody else is TPing. No Morana, nothing. And that's going to get a double kill. That's a disaster top lane. Okay, so in my opinion, Morana should have gotten TP'd on that one. They needed like one other guy to kind of just help support that. Even Storm, I know that you were kind of pushing the middle lane. You might have been able to TP top to just kind of help out. You do need to get like, you need to secure like a kill, and I think that you were definitely within range. But here comes the zip in. They do catch out the Ember, who's just sleeping at the secret shop, just get blown up. Man, can the guy just shop in peace? Alright, but I think she's still sleeping. Here's... Okay, awesome. So we'll get to that pattern. Don't worry, it's coming up. But not yet. But here, Wind Ranger gets the mid T1, of course. Very, very important. And Elwin just kind of bouncing. This is a little bit of a waste of time. Not really farming. Obviously, the rune is there, and you're going to secure that and use the invis. Not batting. Not bad. Ooh, but takes the power shot. Didn't take the full brunt of it, but nonetheless, I think you're fine. You did save yourself, and you did prevent the Wind Ranger from getting the invis, so that's always good. Drow, level 7 at 12 minutes. This is very worrying. This is a support Ember, position 5 Ember, right? This is a game for Elwin, which is the Storm right here. Oh, but the arrow connects on the creep instead, but they do get him. Slaughter is blinked in. That's the reveal. Does get a nice crush, but that's going to be the end of that, and he's going to just kind of back away. The T1 is going to take some damage. They have 4 people here. So this is one thing I don't like, is that everybody just disengaged. And you want to force people... Oh my gosh, Storm getting caught out here. The silence, at least on the Sand King, but the power shot. Okay, the positioning was off there. Slaughter was still around. The shackle does connect on the Drow. They do steal. Oh, but the Sand King misses the stun. Oh, they get it. And Marana is level 7. He jumped right back into it. Slardar does get the kill, and he's going to try to run away. He does get silenced. Just going to stick on up, and he's going to just kind of run back a bit. They do get the Crows of Haze, and they're running after him. The nice arrow from that side. Gotti making plays. And here we go. And that's going to be a dead Slardar. And completely baited out. I do. Actually, yeah. He's divine / ancient. I think he's divine, actually. But yeah, actually, I'm taking requests. If you have a game you want me to cast, feel free to just send it my way. Just link it in. Scherzinger, you're up next. Don't worry. But yeah, if other people want to do it, they can just also. I don't mind casting for that. But PL here, almost with Diffusal, doesn't have his chick, and a play being held up top. Elwin getting caught out. Does have enough to just at least get the initial one. The nice sleep there, but not any mana. And Storm. Okay, so this is why Storm is not really good at taking towers, but is more of like the ganker, right? And Bane just trying to run for his life with his PMA. He's going to die with that. Hopefully he's continuing the PMA attitude as he continues to move forward. Marana, in my opinion, has not really been an impact, right? And I think that when that Storm was getting ganked on, where was the Moonlight, right? Where are your teammates? Bristle, on the other hand, does have Vanguard. Ember is in position, looking to get, it does get chained on in. He's looking to go at least get the last hit, and he doesn't even get it. Ember with a nice deny, but he does get arrowed. The power shot from the other end of this. Bristle's in position. He's been gooing him, but he's not actually walking in front. This is something that you can really do, is that you can kind of stutter step. So you kind of just walk around him as opposed to just standing still and right-clicking, right? Which doesn't really affect your, like, you can be as efficient as possible by stutter stepping, right? So you right-click him, then you move a little bit forward because there's a little bit of time between each of your attacks. So for maximum efficiency, you definitely want to be stutter stepping. If you don't know what that is, I suggest you YouTube it. Maybe we'll do a little demonstration a little bit later, but it's very good in like StarCraft 2. I think that's the biggest thing. This one, it's important in Dota because you can get in and block him. I don't think Marana's got a chance with Crows of Haze, and there's really no getting away from a slaughter like this. With a nice arrow there. Okay, now you got teammates. Okay, I say that, and he does get silenced. Bane is in position, and it looks like Slaughter has gone too deep, diving the T1. Never a good idea, especially when you don't have backup. So a little bit of a nice play there. So 16-11. It's a nice rotation. And they're trying to get as much as they can. But Drow, the biggest thing is that you want to get towers, right? You want to be pushing. You want to be 5-manning it. And this is a pretty decent lineup to do that. But as I say that, all of your friends, quote-unquote friends, have all run away. So you're kind of by yourself. And this is a little bit scary. You just need to make sure that you have the map awareness on, your spider sense. Because if you do get caught out, you're pretty much just a sitting duck, especially against this lineup. So the T1 top is taking some damage. The catapult is there. Marana with really no items, as you've been kind of... I mean, you've gotten the levels back, so props to you for that. So you did something well. I think it was with the stacks, and you managed to farm something. But Bristle completely out your... okay. So this is a issue I see with a lot of pub player Bristles, just in general, is that they think they're strong. They think they're 60-minute Bristle, when at the end of the day, they're 15-minute Bristle, okay? What I mean by that is that you have items, and then you become tanky and this unstoppable monster, right? There's no silver edge. There's no real way to deal with you, and I understand that it's, you know, it applies now, but you need to get some items before you can kind of tank in the middle of 3 or so heroes, right? All you have is Vanguards, and you have a trust fund. You're basically a trust fund baby that's not spending any of their money. Shame on you. And you're giving up a lot of gold, especially if that, I'm pretty sure a lot of that is unreliable gold. If you don't know what that is, please, I suggest you Google search it. As I look now, you have 2,000 in unreliable gold. So you're giving up a lot of gold when you die. I don't know why you're not buying items, you know, at this point. So Sand King is in position, does have Diffusal on the PL. That should be pretty decent. Especially, it's great against the Bristle, right? Because if you just take away his mana, he's literally just Bristle back like a really tough melee creep. Elwin here does have Dust, does have Orchid, and I know that Elwin's had that for quite some time. So going to get Kaya next, which I agree with. The Wind Ranger, who had a decent start, has now got MKB, and this is kind of the new hotness with 7.27. attack, see, like the attack, the attack speed isn't amazing. Obviously, it helps just overall, but I mean, when focus fire is being used, really not that big of a deal. Okay, so Imclaw is going to be left around, waiting for somebody to pick it up. I think it's better than the clumsy net, and PL does end up picking that up. So Storm does get shackled, but nothing latched on, but that just was an instant death for the Mirana there. And they do need to be careful, because Radiant right now is kind of grouped up, and they do have that gank, that bash, and just they're able to destroy you very, very quickly. They have a lot of damage. And they do have a decent amount of stuns. I mean, and the control with the Slaughter and the Sand King, right? So this is turning into a scary lineup if they're up against a lot. But the Bristle here doesn't get shackled, but does get the long-range stun from the Sand King. Bane is in position, literally just walking up, hey, guys, and he's going to sleep the Windrunner. But the Epicenter was used, not doing a whole lot of damage. PMA actually getting body blocked by Bristle, who's just kind of moving on to the back of this, and it runs into the Drow with his AoE damage. And where is Moonlight? Oh, Moonlight was already used, but Drow is going to die for this, and Mirana just literally giving up. Okay, so Mirana. All right, you have two different neutrals, okay? You're selfish bastard. Storm just has Essence Rune. Okay, just pick that up. But you have Perseverance. This is what, 1,700 gold, and it's just kind of chilling in your backpack? Like, change with the Tango. Like, get some value out of this. This is pretty massive. Actually, Elwin kind of reached out to me in terms of this replay, and that's kind of why we're sticking with this one. Mind you, almost all of the games that I've casted or tried to analyze is that they tend to be losing games. And I feel like it's more of just like they can learn more, right? When you're losing, right? If you're just snowballing, you're winning, there's not really much that you can learn. Maybe the enemy team can learn stuff, but you're not really losing. Not to say that my friends are losers, but I just happen to cherry pick those games, right? So this is definitely one that Elwin thought, what went wrong, right? And so this person kind of reached out to me. Elwin, I don't know if there's a man or a woman, not that it matters, but Elwin really just kind of carrying this game. Sorry for not showing net worth, but Elwin doing the tops, right? And one thing that really suffers to me is that Drow. Oh, Slaughter misses the stun. They do get that in, but the sleep was being used, and Moonlight, I think this is a time to disengage. All five are in position. Bristle and Drow aren't even in position. You got to make do with what you can. The leap up. Oh, there was no leap for 24 seconds. Thought there was a leap, did not have it, so he lost on that one. But okay, it comes back to Drow, right? If you're gonna draft Drow, you need to ensure that you work around Drow, right? Meaning, what does Drow want to do? Drow wants to take towers. She's amazing at it. She's probably one of the best in the game, especially if you have other long-range guys, especially with, like everyone except for Bristle has, some sort of long-range attack, which kind of benefits from Drow's pushing potential. But you do want to be taking towers, right? And only taking the T1 mid and the T1 bottom at this stage at 21 minutes means Drow has not done a good job. Your team has not done a good job. You need to just group up and just take the towers, right? And this is they do get the spin up. They get the pull back on the Ember, who does manage to survive so far. Storm is going to try to run right away, but with the diffusal there slowing it down, not really much to be had. They do get the Ember in the end, and the Slaughter is down as well. But Drow, that is not where you want to do. Nice Manta dodge there. Kind of just running back, the silence to push away. But you don't really have anybody else to kind of back you up. Bristle is now in position, but Drow just manning up and trying to fight under tower. Not really too much there. The PL, just too many illusions. And this is a lot of damage from this PL, who's just going to wreck up on Bristle, who gets Yule's done up. Doesn't have any of the mana. It's kind of tanky, but it's just going to, I think he's going to go down in the end. Bane actually repaying and body blocking Bristle. So, wow. A lot of unnecessary. Like Drow should have ran to the high ground. This is the only safe place. This T2 doesn't really prevent anything unless you're maybe dodging through the trees. But this T2 is very difficult to kind of prevent. Oh, but nice little zip through. He does get it, but he does get diffuseled. But is he going to pay with his life? And he TP's on out. Nice TP on there. So he secures the kill on the Sand King. Nice little gank there. Sand King just kind of overstepping his boundaries a little bit. Didn't really expect Storm to just kind of zip on through. But again, the impact of Mirana has really not been there. Street Fighter casting. So I'm actually going to try to get into Street Fighter. So I'm going to be doing a little bit more casting later today. Just to kind of get some reps in, so to speak. Because Street Fighter casting is like a whole nother thing. I'm talking Street Fighter 5. It's a fighting game, right? But Bane here, just kind of walking up. Not much you can do. No sort of escape. And the sleep, it doesn't really matter, even with all those illusions. And they're just kind of bouncing it around. But here, this Slaughter, apparently a girl gamer. I don't know why you need to announce yourself like that, but Moonlight being used here. And Bristle did get Radiance. I dislike this one. I think it's bad. I mean, it works kind of against PL. The MKB here. So you just pierce. It doesn't have true sight or true. What is it? The 100% on. I forgot what it's called, but it doesn't have that anymore. But just some things you kind of need to worry about, like, because the Radiance is just so slow, right? It's 24 minutes. It's kind of like a rough time. But yeah, a bit of an itemization choice. Like, I don't know what is better for Bristle, but I think tankier being like, you know, Crimson, Pipe, that sort. I think somebody needs to go utility, which we're really not seeing here. So. Because, again, just straight up damage, right? They're just blowing you up. This Bane just kind of dies to anybody who looks at him. Drow has the TP away. Mind you, Drow doesn't have any sort of Force Staff, Hurricane Pike, any way to get away. There's no mobility on this team. So if they get rooted in like they just got here, it's pretty much just dead, right? And nice Atos pickup on Ember, realizing that, again, they have no Force Staffs, right? They have no real ways to kind of just deal with this. So, just very easy, very, very systematic, I would say. Like, their itemization point has just been on point with everything. Slaughter, the amount of control that they have. Like, this is just a disaster of a game, so to speak, right? It's gone from bad to worse, and it's not 100% Elwin's fault, but it's more of a team synergy that you need to kind of just deal with. This Drow, you have that pushing potential, but you're very far behind, and you don't want to just be late game with the Drow, because literally anybody, like, you have your one defensive item, so to speak, is Manta, and that's it. You don't have Hurricane Pike, you don't have, you know, I mean, even a Shadow Blade at this point would be a better item, in my opinion. Okay, but they do have the Storm just getting stun locked, can't even zip away on this one. The Epicenter was also being used, but again, no Moonlight. Okay, and now a Moonlight is being used? Okay, that seems a bit odd. Like, you're already dead. Like, you need to keep Storm alive. That's the one you want to save. He's your protect, you know, for protect one, and that's the one, right? This Drow, not really that great. Just stay high ground. Okay, but they do get Aegis popped off. Bristle kind of just sitting in the Sandstorm, which is a lot of damage. And this, oh my gosh, Bane, what are you doing? This positioning is terrible. You stay on the high ground, you do what you can, get the sleeps off as well, but this is going to be a dead Drow as well. The Bristle, when you're Bristle front, you're getting destroyed. Yeah, when you face them, and that's going to be a T3 top. Creeps or no creeps, yeah, you have backdoor, but the creeps are coming. So this should be very, very quick. Okay, so Glyph being used. And with a 5-man team wipe, right? This is 27 minutes and they're going high ground. Ooh, this T3. Kind of rough, right? But Slaughter a little low. Just something to worry about, especially if Storm's going to zip in. Yeah, that was predictable. Does get the silence on him. And they're trying to get him, but they do get the Atos. Nice. And now it looks like he's going to turn around. No mana. Elwin get caught out. He tried to be cute, tried to calculate it, thought he could get the pick off on Slaughter, but did not expect Ember with a Rod of Atos to just stand in the back and just kind of protect him. And Bane going to go down again. And so this is why, okay, Bane is very, very good of a laner, right? Very, very strong. Super annoying, just a lot of damage, the sleep potential and everything, but PL is like the perfect counter. Like, how are you going to find the right one? And then secondly, he really has no escape. The stun isn't really like that reliable stun where it's going to hit more than one guy. It's kind of just locking him into place where your team can do all the damage. If you're looking at your team, you would think that you had the damage, but you had such a terrible laning phase that Bane really isn't paying off in spades, so to speak. Slaughter gets away with that. The Drow goes down one more time, and this is probably going to be a quick GG very soon. Nope. They're just backing up. Going to regroup, I guess, and push all the other lanes. They do need to take out the T2 top. So that should be very, very quick. But Okay, I don't know why people are calling each other daddy. That just seems kind of odd, but, you know, we'll let things be. But, Famed, who are you, Famed? What was your, okay, but the Atos again, he zips on away. They do get the pin in on, Wind Ranger, but with the Wind Run activated, just kind of neutralizing a lot of that damage. Moonlight is being used, Wind Ranger is getting pulled back, but he should be fine. And Bane just in a bad spot. Oh my gosh. When you're dying this many times, you better have a PMA, right? Hang on, I'm trying to see. Bane died 15 times. Oh man, that's a rough game. Alright, so Focus Fire being used on the tower, just going to melt these towers. Sand King doing a good job realizing his presence isn't required in the bottom lane, so it's going to continue to push out the top. And here comes the zip in. They do get the silence on Sand King, but Sand King is actually kind of tanky. He does get the pull in one more time, and that's going to be a dead Sand King. But the outpost is here. Kind of scary. You do need to be careful because the TBs could be coming in at any moment. As I say that, Drow just stands still, but that shackle. How do you miss that shackle? Come on. COVID-19. Get your head in the game. But the lane is in top. This is the last set of racks that they got. This T2 is going to be very difficult to defend. As Storm at this position, when you have guys that are just kind of AFKing and kind of giving up on life, shame on them for the record. But the only way you can really get yourself back in the game is buying time. How do you buy time? You push out the other lanes. It's one thing to attack the creep waves and obviously defend the high ground and killing all those creeps, but you want to be actually here. This is where you want to be. You want to be cutting the creeps, because the 30 seconds or whatever between creep waves will buy you time in the end. Like, you cut this one, you finally make your way to the bottom one here, you just consistently push out the waves so that anytime, like, when this is the only set of creeps that are coming in, if you kill that lane, then you'll always have backdoor, which will slow everything down, right? They don't have backdoor now because they have the creep waves, but somebody needs to be, you know, cutting the creeps. Drow is, I think, trying to do that. No, he just gave up on life. Okay, so they're just giving up, so I'm going to stop giving advice when people don't want to take it because they've given up on life on that sense, but this is going to be a quick 32-minute game, and we'll go into the next one very, very soon. All right, we'll actually just speed this up because I think that this is kind of the end of the... They're going to be probably doing some fountain diving, a little bit more disrespect, but that's pretty much it with this. When all of your guys have TP'd on away and just kind of moved on out, and the DCs have happened, that's pretty much it. So, all right, that's the game one. And I hope you got some sort of tip from that. Obviously, Elwin is not exactly of your play. And I know that Dota is the type where you should be looking at your own play more than anyone else. There were some minor mistakes that you did make, but 11-8-2, a lot of it came down to your team and the draft. I'm not sure how the draft ended up being, but I felt like things weren't really in sync. Like, you have like the potential of, you know, locking somebody down with the Bane, and you got the arrow combo, like that Murano. That's nice synergy there. But for some reason, you didn't really have the damage to kind of just pick that up. And the Drow just really suffering, just having a rough game. And you lost all 5 lanes against a straight-up 5-core team, and that's pretty much what you're going to see. So, good game on that one.